Okay, just wanted to show you the defective product that GM put out and making us have to pay for to replace. But as you can see, this negative battery terminal, if you look inside, you can see this. There was arcing around the outside where the cable was not seated through thoroughly because of the plastic was a tight fit for the fuse block. And you can see where it did melt. It's even on the bottom, but there's a gap on the top. You can see that, and that's why we're having to replace this stuff. GM was wanting to be a Me Too hybrid producer, and they failed. You can see the arc where the contacts were arcing. That generated the heat. It caused the plastic to melt. You can see it's all lopsided there. And that's why we're having to replace this whole unit. The dealer wanted $2,500 to replace this piece of plastic with a circuit board and a couple of a switch. And not much to it. I got it online from a GM parts dealer for $800, and replacing it myself. Now, I have taken the time to make sure that this fuse is going to seat all the way back flush, all the way back flush against that electrode. Then the negative battery terminal is going to go up against here, through here, and the terminal, ring terminal is going to go around that. That's going to get tightened down, and hopefully that will take care of my problems. But when you have loose high voltage cables, it's easy for other things to react and respond. You know, the typical routine. You get a bad battery, your alternator's working overtime, so your alternator goes out, so you have to replace the battery and the alternator. Well, you know, this just makes it more complicated. I did already replace the alternator, and it didn't fix anything for this vehicle, so that was a waste of a few $100s. And this was the number 2 thing that I figured I'd change, because this was identified by the dealer as needing to be replaced. So once I got in here, I would agree it needs to be replaced, but I'm sure the dealer didn't even get in to see what kind of garbage was going on in here. They just, you know, they get a fault, and there were no codes. I don't know how they decided that, but they get some kind of a reading, and they decided that, yeah, that needs to be replaced, which made sense. By the way, this cable, the grounding strap cable, was loose when I got back here. So I know the dealer wasn't back here, because they would have tightened that up to see if it fixed something, right? Who knows? But it was loose, and then I found that the fuse block in there was, you know, basically welded in there from the plastic melting, so I had to force it out. And hopefully, since this has a good contact, I've had to clean out some space for it to slide in there and slide back out, and hopefully that will take care of that. That won't go bad very soon in the future. And I've made sure that everything's tight, and we're going to put it back in and see what happens. Hopefully my hybrid error will go away. If not, the next piece that GM recommended was the alternator or generator control module. This is the battery control module, BCM. They recommended the other item be possibly needing to be replaced, but it's linked directly to this, so it's natural that they would both, you know, give a fault. And it's easy to just replace stuff for a dealer than it is to actually figure out what's going on. So we're going to replace one piece at a time and see what fixes it. Thanks, we'll talk to you later.